Don't judge me, but you're gonna, so. If I was a bot, I'd be better at this. Hey there, thanks so much for clicking this video. Welcome back to my channel. My name's TK Galoni. It is an absolute treat to see you again. Today we're going to be talking about a book that I'm currently obsessed with by Greg McKeown. It's called Essentialism, and in it he describes how to live your life through the disciplined pursuit of less. So let's not waste any time. It's the most valuable resource we have, and get right into it. So I actually didn't read this book. I listened to it on Audible, which I highly recommend. However, this book I do wish I had a hard copy of because there was so much good information in it that I had trouble going back to find in kind of like an audio format. So if you do decide to pick this up, I do recommend you have like a tangible copy that you can reference. But the tagline of this book is the disciplined pursuit of less. And the main idea behind Essentialism, as McKeown states it, is that there is a distinction that you need to make in your life between the trivial many tasks versus the vital few. And he references the 80-20 rule, that like 20% of your effort is going to yield 80% of the results, whereas the inverse would be like 80% of your effort is only yielding 20% of the results, which is a different theory that I'm not going to get as far into today. But if you want like a deeper look into the foundations of Essentialism, he went on Matt D'Avella's podcast, and I'll link to that video in this card and below if you want to check that out as well. But the rest of this is going to be kind of like my review and how I'm going to implement it personally in my life. So one of the main things that McKeown claimed that really stuck with me was that if you don't prioritize your time, somebody else will. And I found that so true in my own personal life. I'm quick to attach myself to other people's agendas versus my own, because a lot of the times I don't know what I want or what my essential intent, which is what we're going to from now on refer to as your driving force, is. I don't know what the main goal is, so it's easy to be like, oh yeah, I can totally help you move, or yeah, I'll babysit, no problem, I don't have anything better to do. And McKeown says these tiny decisions where we are so quick to say yes to everything are what is going to ultimately hold us back from doing something great. He says it as like breaking into the next level. That's what he states he's been studying for the last 15 years, which I kind of think is bullshit, but that doesn't matter quite as much. And one of the quotes that I highlighted from this book was, when we are taxed by the trivial, we don't have the space to think, so we end up getting lost and spending years going in the wrong direction. And as somebody with anxiety, that scares the living crap out of me. So I've spent this whole week obsessing over how to better implement essentialism. At the end of the book, he says that essentialism isn't something that you do, it is something that you are. You are an essentialist. I do not quite identify as one just yet, but I'm definitely intrigued by the idea, and I can see how it can be so beneficial. So what I was obsessing about this week was how to figure out what my essential intent is. I have some footage here of me going to a gorgeous park in Portland on the solstice. Happy summer, everyone. And trying to journal based on prompts that McKeown recommends in one of his blog posts on how to find your essential intent. And the first one is, if you only had 1 week left to live, what would you do? And you're supposed to like set a timer for 10 minutes and figure it out. And then you move on to, what if you had a month, a year, 5 years? And then you go and you review what you'd written down, and hopefully that should inform your essential intent. I'm gonna put a big ass trigger warning on this one, because if you sit down and think about what if you had 1 week to live or 1 month to live, it might send you into an existential spiral like it did me. I got caught up in this idea that my life is totally pointless and purposeless, and it doesn't make any sense to exist at all. And thanks, camera. What was I saying? Oh yeah, existential crisis. So if you aren't somebody who can comfortably imagine your own demise, I do not think that this is the best writing prompt for you. But you can certainly use different methods to figure out your own essential intent. You're just gonna wanna make sure that it is concrete and measurable, that there is a time limit. Your essential intent today doesn't necessarily need to be your essential intent later this year or 5 years from now. If you're trying to be a doctor, it's probably gonna be your essential intent like for a while. But for me, right now, the essential intent is to just figure out what that essential intent is. I actually have a trick that I also have learned through therapy. I see a cognitive behavioral therapist. If you want more information on that, let me know in the comments below on why I chose that form of therapy. I've only been seeing this clinician for about a year, but I've learned so many awesome tools to help with my anxieties and help me figure out how to enjoy this gorgeous life that I have been blessed with a little bit more. And probably unsurprisingly at this point, the foundation of my motivation, I've realized, is mindfulness. So instead of combining this all into one super long video, I'm actually gonna end it here. And next week we're gonna get into my personal motivational pyramid. If you are a psych fan, we're gonna do a quick overview of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and I'm gonna show you how I customized that to figure out how I could better prioritize my time and leave me at the end of the day feeling pretty fulfilled and proud of myself for what I've accomplished in that 24-hour period. So I hope you do check out Essentialism. I'm gonna link to a couple additional video resources and a link directly to both the hard copy and audiobook below. If you've read the book, let me know what you think, or if you're just obsessed with a different self-help piece of information at this time, I'd love to hear about it. And if you like this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to TK Galoni for more tips and tricks on how to live your life with more intention, and to follow me on my messy ass journey as I try to do so myself. You have a great week. I hope you keep breathing, stay grateful, and I'll see you next Monday.